Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Pastor Jay, and I am coming to you from the Vicarage, and we are here today to do our Monday Digging Deeper devotional. And we are continuing all this week digging deeper into our mini-series of these next few weeks entitled Living the Dream. And in this mini-series, we are looking at Ephesians 5, and I think we're probably going to break into Ephesians 6 this week, and we are using Ephesians 5 and probably Ephesians 6 to begin discussing our congregational sentence, the prophetic word that God has given us as a congregation for 2025 and 2026 as to how we are to live our lives and to carry out the ministry that God has given to Cornerstone Church. And so that congregational sentence says this: awakened, empowered by love to transform. Awakened by God's love and empowered by that love, we will transform our communities. In 2025 and 2026, we are going to foster an environment where our church is awakened to a deeper awareness of God's love. This will lead us to spend more and more time with Him, whether through reading His Word, seeking Him in prayer, or helping those in need within the wider community by using the gifts that God has given us. We will experience freedom, connection, support, and empowerment through our encounters with God. We will be a shining light in the region, radiating His supernatural power, healing, and hope. As we reach those in need, we will spread the message of Jesus and create a lasting positive difference in the communities we serve. Now, we've begun unpacking this by talking about three primary words that are used in our congregational sentence for 2025 and 2026. And those three words are awake, empowered, and transformed. And so, last week we talked about being awakened. This week we are going to begin talking about how to be empowered. And we had a moment where God broke into our service on Sunday, where He called us to walk with Him in the fire. And I said being empowered is walking with God in the fire. So how do we walk with God in the fire and find the power that He has for us there? Well, there are several different ways that we're going to be talking about it. The first thing we need to know is that if we are going to be empowered, or if we are going to walk with God in the fire, then we must learn to follow Him. And I just want to talk a little bit more about this idea of following Christ. And we have a need to begin to obey Christ in the deeper things, in the commands that He's giving to us. In the book of James, James encourages people to not be just hearers of the word only, but to be doers of the word. You see, we don't need to just hear the word of God. We don't just need to hear the words of the Bible. We need to do the words of the Bible. Christianity is not a book of head knowledge. It's a book of life experience. And so if we are going to be empowered by God in this life, if we are going to walk with Him in the fire and experience His supernatural power in that fire, then we need to learn to follow Christ. And that only comes as we obey the word. Not just know the word, but obey it. And so we come to this place where God begins this chapter, Ephesians chapter 5, by really encouraging us to follow Christ, to submit to Christ, to obey Christ. And not only that, but also to follow rightly delegated authority. You know, at Cornerstone, we have a mission statement, and that mission statement is, while doing life together, we will reach the lost. By sending the found, we will discover our gifts and change the world. That is the mission statement that that I back as a pastor, that the board backs as a deacon board, that the staff backs as leadership in the church, and that all of our leadership have bought into. Following rightly delegated authority for us means we obey that mission statement. We are, as a body, called to do life together. We are supposed to be in DLT groups. We're supposed to be doing life together. We're supposed to be experiencing the fivefold nature of doing life together, which is studying the Word with one another, praying with one another, fellowshipping with one another, breaking bread with one another, and meeting needs with and for one another. And so if we're not doing that, then we are neither, we might be following Christ, but we are not following rightly delegated authority for the church we're in. And so that means a very specific thing. When we talk about following Christ and following rightly delegated authority, that means we submit to the leadership of the church which God has put us in. And so in our church, that's what we're called to do. It's not like that in every church, but in our church it is. It's what God has called us to as people. And so I just encourage you today to begin to be empowered by following Christ, obeying the Word, and by following rightly delegated authority, and by doing life together with our church. So if you're part of our church, come and really be a part of the mission of Cornerstone Church. Till we meet again, God bless you and be at peace.